dimensions, how come 3 are known, understood, experienced, extended, like what we understand and see and feel with the XYZ or the length, breadth, and height? How come that is 3 of them are extended? And how come 6 of them are curled up? Like, what is the deal with the, first of all, we don't have an intuitive answer for why 9. We have a mathematical answer for why 9. 9 solves the issues with math. But why are 6 of them curled up and tiny and not some other number and something like that? Okay. Actually, we kind of looked into this a little bit with Stephen Hawking and his book, A Brief History of Time. Remember how he had mentioned something about if there were more than 3 extended dimensions, the universe would be very different. Because one of the things I believe he said was that, remember how he was mentioning how we live in a universe that hosts and supports intelligent life like us. And, the Earth, the sun, our solar system, this galaxy, the rest of the universe developed in this way. And here we are, right? We come from this giant gas cloud nebula thingamawitch, which cooled and condensated to make the sun and the planets. That's how we are here. And then those, planets, including our Earth, actually Earth especially, did a good job of cooling and making oceans and cleaning up its atmosphere so that we can eventually come to be. So he had actually mentioned one good point, which was that if there were even more extended spatial dimensions, that it would really mess up gravitation. And remember how gravitation is a force classically that depends the r, the spatial distance is in the denominator. The force falls off as r squared. So that is the distance between 2 objects, right? So if you had another extra spatial dimension that was extended and contributed significantly to that r, which is in the denominator for the force of gravity, then the force would be even weaker. And so maybe we wouldn't have clumped into galaxies and such in the universe back when the tiny little inhomogeneities of the smooth universe led to having galaxies and large scale structures. And within the galaxies, we started to have stars and, we came to be eventually, right? Like if the sun wasn't, if the stars were not a thing, then we wouldn't be here. If galaxies had not formed, we wouldn't be here. So, those types of things, that's one way to look at it as well, is that maybe in this universe that supports intelligent beings who ask the question of why 9, why 3 space dimensions that are extended and 6 that are small and curled up, maybe we wouldn't be here in a different universe where those things were differently configured. So, it's very interesting to consider all this, but why aren't they all extended or all curled up or some other possibility in between? So this is a question that Brian Greene is asking here, and I don't believe that we exactly have an intuitive answer for why, but it is fun to do a thought experiment of what would happen if we did have another extra extended dimension. And I think one of the things that would get affected is gravity. And if we had different gravity, would we even be here? So we'll see. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see what Brian Greene has to say about this. So at present, no one knows the answer to this question of why the 3 and the 6. 3 extended and 6, what do you call 6 curled up small ones in the dimensions, right? If string theory is right, we should eventually be able to extract the answer.